What's going on YouTube? The Dominican African American is back with another video. Are you trying to figure out, should you get a hotel or Airbnb? Well, you just came to the right YouTube channel. I got the answers for you. Alright, now look, my last video on the whole money exchange, I had like a cough and a hiccup attack. I'm hoping that that doesn't happen in this video. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it seems like if I talk for too long, I'm gonna have a cough attack. So I'm gonna try to get all my coughs out the way real quick, so bear with me. All right, man, so before we get into it, like the video, comment down below, and subscribe, all right? And click the link in the description to get you some DR merch. Got a lot of nice shirts over there. It's a lot of nice things over there. You go over there, you want to let the people know that, look, you're prepared for the DR and you're a part of the movement, all right? And there's going to be other people that's like, oh man, I know where you got that shirt from. I'm subscribed to him too, all right? So grab you some merch, all right? Again, links in the description. So, should you get, oh, by the way, I'm in Philadelphia. I had a few comments in my last video about how I'm in Philly and not the DR. Yeah, I'm not in the DR yet. I travel there back and forth throughout the year, a few times throughout the year. But no, I'm in Philadelphia. I'm on Baltimore Ave. So if you're in the area, holla at your boy. All right. You know, Philadelphia is nice and safe, and there's no crime. Take now. All right, let's get to it. So, first thing to consider is who are you going with? Are you going with a family? Or are you going by yourself? All right, are you going with a group of friends? We're gonna get the family thing out the way first. All right, so if you're going with some family, you want to be in family-oriented environments. A place that's safe for the kids. Maybe a place that's going to give the kids something to do. Maybe a chance for them to make new friends. I'm gonna go hotel right off the bat. All right, don't even do an Airbnb unless you're gonna be around family, of course. Like you got family over there. One second. But hotel right off the bat. All right, so that's aside because that's not everybody got families like with kids and whatnot. A lot of you are going to be solo traveling or traveling with your friends. So you're going to want to know, should you go with a hotel or Airbnb? So I have a pros and cons list between the both of them that you should definitely be aware of. So we'll do the hotel first, and then we'll do Airbnb. But if you want to know, if you don't want to watch the whole video, you just want to know what I'm going to pick, I'm going with Airbnb right off the bat, all right? But stay to the end of the video so you can hear why, all right? It's definitely useful information, things that a lot of people on YouTube don't necessarily talk about, all right? So with a hotel, the pros, we'll do the pros and then the cons. With a hotel, it's going to be a little bit safer. You got a front desk, a staff that's going to be monitoring who's coming in and out of the hotel, and there's cameras, surveillance, all of that jazz, you know what I mean? They know that there's going to be a lot of foreigners there, so they want to make sure that they're safe, all right? Another pro to consider is the amenities. You know, chances are you're going to have a breakfast, you're going to have maybe a gym, a pool, things for you and the kids to do, and you know, that's going to matter. That's going to dictate how the trip goes when you have things to do at where you're staying. Hold on. I don't know what the hell. I don't know if that was a bird or what. But yeah, that's something to consider. All right. Another pro is there's more foreigners. There's more travelers. People that are coming from your country and all over the world. All right. And chances are they're going to have kids. So your kids might be able to make friends. You and your lady might be able to make friends, or husband might be able to make some friends. All right. And the next pro is the points. Hold on, we got a trolley. We're in Philly, so there's trolleys. All right. But yeah, rewards and points. So what I mean by that is when you stay at a hotel, if you're using like hotel.com or some of the other apps, they'll give you rewards and points to go towards a future stay. And with hotels, you'll be able to pretty much collect those points where you could use it on maybe a free stay in the future. All right, so that's pretty much a pro with staying at a hotel. All the pros with staying at a hotel that I was able to come up with. As far as the cons, you have to pay to bring in guests. From my experience, maybe not all hotels, but definitely at the Radisson in Santo Domingo, they were charging like $50 just for an hour. You know what I mean? Just to have a guest over, and that could be costly. I mean, it's a fucking hour. That's $50 an hour. You know what I mean? And I don't know if that's gringo prices. I don't know what that's all about, but that's something you should be aware of. You want to call the hotel first and ask them like, yo, do we got to pay to bring guests over? And if the answer is yes, you probably want to stay away from that establishment, unless you got the bread, of course. You know what I mean? But you may want to bring a guest over. You might meet somebody. You might have a family member that wants to stop by and say hello. So that's something to consider. Next is you're not really getting the true experience of the DR when you're at a hotel. Yeah, when you're in transit to the hotel, you're going to get a feel for it, but actually staying at a hotel is not like staying in the neighborhoods where regular Dominican citizens actually live. So you're kind of getting a hybrid experience between the DR life and American life, or Western life, if you will. Another con is that a hotel costs more. You know what I mean? Like, if you're traveling on a budget or you're trying to be cautious with your spending, hotels are going to be more expensive. All right? And that's a problem for some of us regular folks. Another thing is a hotel doesn't guarantee that you're going to have good customer service. So you might be overpaying and not really getting the full experience at a DR. And you would think, well, damn, let me at least get that Chick-fil-A customer service. And you really might not get good customer service. You know what I mean? Customer service isn't as, how could I say this? Not everybody puts an emphasis on the customer service section of their business all over the world. You know what I mean? It's different in each country. So what you might deem to be poor customer service might be standard somewhere else. And that's something to consider. Just because it's a hotel does not guarantee you good customer service. And last but not least, I know this might be hard to believe, but the hotel could be out of business. Like when you get there, it could be like vacant. It's happened to me in Houston where you can go on Expedia, book a package between a flight, hotel, and car rental or whatever, or maybe a flight and hotel. You show up to the hotel and it's a vacant property. So you want to call and verify get in contact with the property through the property details and make sure that it's actually open and it's not vacant. All right. Those are the cons with the hotels. All right. And so far so good. I'm not coughing and hiccuping and farting and all types of shit. Like, so far so good. All right. Now we're gonna go to the Airbnb section. All right, the Airbnb side. I'm gonna go through the pros and the cons as well. All right. So the pros with the Airbnbs. All right. You can have guests over for free. All right. In the description, it'll say maybe a 2 to 3 guest maximum. You know what I mean? But if you're coming alone, you can have, you know what I mean, just do it 1 at a time or 2 at a time, whatever the limit is. You know what I mean? And you can have them in and out. If you're going with a group of friends, you're going to put that in, in the purchase. Oh, we got like a little bird over here. We're going to put that in the purchase, saying that there's going to be 4 y'all, 5 y'all, however it's going to be, and that you're going to have guests over. The hosts are quick to respond, you know what I mean? So just communicate with them in advance. Let them know what you're planning to do, and you ain't got to be too descriptive, but let them know, like, yo, I plan on having a few guests over. They're not going to want you to have parties or anything like that, but, communication is key, all right? But, yes, you can have guests over for free, all right? Another pro with purchasing an Airbnb rather than a hotel is you get the real experience. I mean, you're going to be in neighborhoods where people live. You're going to see the scenery. You're going to hear the music. You're going to hear your neighbors. You're going to hear the pigeons on the roof fighting, fucking, and scratching and clawing. You're gonna see the dogs, the potholes. That you're gonna see the real deal. You're gonna get a real, true experience of what it's like to live there, which to me is priceless. You don't have to. Another pro is you're not gonna have to worry about customer service. You only got to worry about your host and him or her being responsive. And if they're not responsive, they bullshit. You don't got to purchase their Airbnb. You know what I mean? But expecting good quality customer service, that goes out the window, because this is someone's actual house or actual apartment or condo, or this is somebody's property that they own. You know what I mean? And they themselves are the customer service rep, if you will. So you don't really have to worry about a whole hotel staff and how they treat you, and are they polite, are they opening the door, are they, I mean, all of that shit. You only got to really worry about one person, and that's the host. And last but not least, which I think is probably the best or the second best pro, is that it's more affordable. I mean, they have some Airbnbs that cost as low as $10 a night, some at $89 a night. Like when I come back in August, God willing, the room that I'm gonna have is only $80 or $89 a night, staying there for like 4 nights or whatever. And it's just more affordable. You get a really nice room for a good price. You essentially are paying by the night, and you get more freedom with it. All right, so those are the pros with Airbnbs. Now here are some of the cons that I think you should also be aware of. Remember, with the hotel, it's a little bit safer. You got a staff that's going to be monitoring who comes in and out. Well, with an Airbnb, there is no staff. There is no surveillance and things like that. I mean, the host might have his cameras or her cameras set up, but I mean, essentially, there's no security, no staff, you know what I mean, in regular neighborhoods. So technically, it's less safer. Now, from my experience, I had no problems. The neighbors were nice, kind, no issues. All right, so I can't, my experience may not be for others, but I'm just telling you that, like, my experience, I had no issues. I felt safe. No gunshots, no fighting, no robberies. I didn't see none of the shit that, like, people be hearing about over there. I didn't see none of that, man. Like, everybody was cool, laid back, tranquilo. You know what I mean? But that's something you should probably be aware of, that there's no staff, there's no security. Next is there's no amenities. So you're not depending on your Airbnb or villa. Now, if it's a villa, you might have a pool and some amenities, but like usually, you know, you're not gonna have free food or free breakfast. You know what I mean? Some villas have playgrounds and pools for the kids, but essentially your foods and your activities, you're gonna have to fund and take care of yourself. You're gonna have to go to the supermarket to bring food into the Airbnb. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to find things to do outside of your Airbnb. So then the AC might shut off, you know what I mean? Or it may not get as cold as a hotel's, or your Wi-Fi might shut off or get disconnected, and it's late at night and your host might be asleep and you're trying to figure out, like, yo, turn this shit back on. I just lost my Wi-Fi. And if you don't respond or she don't respond, then you out of Wi-Fi for that night. You know what I mean? So those are things, you know, to consider. But if, you know, like I said, that's something that you should consider. Next is, like, you're more likely, the next con is you're more likely to need a car. And driving in the DR could be a bit of a task. It can be scary for some. Now, I'm a truck driver. I'm a commercial driver. So, you know, technically, I'm considered a professional driver, if you will. So, you know, it wasn't, for the average driver, it's going to be a fucking nightmare driving over there. You know what I mean? But if you practice defensive driving, if you leave yourself a way out, like if you're I call it a right lane renegade, you stay in the right lane, not the correct lane, the right lane, derecha. If you stay in the right lane, not the fast lane, izquierda, the left lane, no, the right lane, derecha. If you stay in the right lane, you're going to be pretty much okay. You keep your distance, you're not telling, but you also got to be alert. You know what I mean? The motor controls is coming. There's people that's crossing. There's no true enforcement out in the DR when it comes to, you know, road safety. So that's something that you got to be aware of, because with an Airbnb, there's a chance that you're going to have to rent a car. And depending on where you're staying, like if you're in Santo Domingo, you're definitely going to need a car. If you're in Puerto Plata, depending on where you're at, you probably can get away with just taxis and whatnot. I'm going to make a video on the transportations and what you should consider in another video. But just know that if you're in an Airbnb, chances are you're going to need a car. All right. There's only a few exceptions depending on where you're staying at and what you are mainly traveling for. All right. And those are the cons when it comes to Airbnbs. All right. So again, I'll run through this like I always do with hotels. All right. The cons are you got to pay to bring guests. You don't really get the true experience. It costs more. Doesn't guarantee good customer service. The establishment can be out of business. And the cons with the Airbnb is, it's not as safe, technically, because there's no security or surveillance and shit like that, even though you're going to be fine. No amenities. You got to really take care of your own amenities. You got to go to the supermarket. You're going to possibly need a car. And you could lose internet, or your AC may not be as cold, or it could blow out. You know what I mean? And your host might not, respond to you. But as far as the pros, both have pros. You just got to figure out which one is for you. For me, I normally travel alone, and I like the true experience. I don't want to have to pay to bring guests over, and I am cautious with my spending. So Airbnbs and villas for me will always win. I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. Airbnb for me. All right. So I hope this video helps. Like the video, comment down below. Please pick you up some merch, some DR merch. The link is in the description. All right. I got Sosua shirts, Puerto Plata shirts, Santo Domingo shirts, just traveling and general shirts, Passport Bro shirts. You know what I mean? Support the channel. I really appreciate it. Those who have supported the channel, I really appreciate it. Follow me on Instagram at WGNW Bash, and stay tuned for the next video. All right, I'm out. Peace.